Good evening, guys. Today is October 17th, Tuesday. Hope everybody is well. I thought I'll go through a quick stock that came up on the radar. Overall, the markets first. NASDAQ ended up a little bit lower, quarter of a percentage point, about 34 points lower. It actually, if you look at the day, it started much, much lower. So this was a very strong day overall. It gapped down nearly about 100, 200 points, 160 points, and then gapped all the way up and ended up, mostly in the negative, but not too much. So did fairly well, I thought. The S&P 500, also similar kind of a chart, gapped low, went to the highs, ended up in the middle, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up about 13 points, but had gone up nearly about 200-300 points earlier in the day. So overall, mixed day in the market, but continuation of what we're seeing is progress. One of the stocks that I've been watching, following, and showed up on the scanner is Remitly. RELY is the stock. We're going to go through a 5-step process, see what is the reason why it's showing up high, and then go through and find out what makes it tick. Okay, we always start with the fundamentals and financials first. I start with the income statement, and typically on an annualized basis, it seems to me the company has gone from about 125 million in 2019 to roughly about 650 million in 2022. So nearly 4 times. It has gone up 4 times. So solid growth, 100% growth in 2020, slowed down to 78%. It slowed down even further to 42%. It isn't making money yet. It's still negative. It's losing about 100 million on a 600 million. The gross margin seems somewhere in the range of about 50 to 50, little less than a 50% range, but seems okay. 50% gross margins, negative net margins, nearly 100 million. So it's losing about 16% net margins. On a quarterly basis, revenue has been fairly good. I would say it's not slowed down very, very dramatically, as you would expect, but it's been fairly good. They're reducing their losses on an annualized, on a quarterly basis. So that's a good sign as well. And if I look at the balance sheet, they have very little net debt, about 16 million. 700 million total assets, so fairly strong. I would say I'm not seeing any yellow flags as well. Price to sales is decent for a company with 50% margins, growing at 50% nearly. And if you look at the gross margins in the 55% range, net margins in the negative 10% range. So they should be able to turn the negative net margin around, I think. But that's the only cause for concern, if you will, red flag. So start always at a very, very high level. What do you see in the stock? I'm going to remove every drawing that I have because I follow the stock quite a bit. I like the stock. So started out very, very high when it went IPO in 2021 in the 50-55 range. Took a beating. This is a stage 4 downtrend all the way, consolidated, formed a nice shade to U pattern here. This is building a base. It built a base after the IPO. Look at this. This is the base that it built, solid base, and then started moving up higher, built another base in this range, and then now it's heading up even higher. So this looks like it is built off of a base, a solid move to the top. So I like this. I'm beginning to think that this might be a very interesting stock, and see this did very, very well in the month of somewhere in the range of about August 23. So it's done very, very well since the last earnings. That's why I like it as well. If you look at it from a weekly basis, very nice green flag on earnings. This was a very, very good move up on that week. Since then, from a nice bull flag on the weekly chart. So I like this. Good green peg, power earnings gap, and then very solid move up. So the near term looks like there's going to be some kind of a, okay, so this seems to be one definite area of resistance in the 29 zone. And then support, although I could put it all the way down here in the 6, there's a bunch of stuff that is actually going to help it from moving way below 17, maybe a little bit up even in the 19 range would be tough for it to move down from. So 19, let's put it 19, then we'll come back and view it later. So it's definitely in an uptrend, as you can see. So this is stage 2 uptrend. This is a little bit of consolidation, nice move up. This is a beautiful bull flag that is formed. On the daily chart, you can see after earnings, put a nice power earnings gap. This was on the 2nd of August. Good earnings, good growth. Since then, it's been moving very nicely within the channel. You can adjust the channel a little bit, but it's going to continue on this channel upwards. This is nearly a 52-week high. So there's not much for it to have in terms of a challenge to grow up all the way, unless earnings, which are coming out in probably about a couple of weeks, are going to be horrible. But I don't expect that to be the case. I expect them to consistently move a little bit higher. My suspicion is it's probably going to get to about 27 before. Sorry, this is the, what is range is that? Let's go back and see. So we're going to get to the 29-30 range before earnings. And then probably consolidate, wait for the earnings to happen. So has formed a very nice pattern within this channel, and the bull flag is moving very solidly up. So I would expect it very nicely to move all the way to the 29 zone. We'd keep a stop loss probably very close to, so look at all the moving averages, all pointing upward. The short-term and the long-term moving averages are pointing upward. This is a good sign. The RSI relative to the rest of the market is also good. I really like Remitly a lot. The valuation looks okay. The fact that they're losing money, 13 million on a quarterly basis, they still have a lot of money left in the bank is a good sign. No big yellow flags there. I really like this. So I'm going to keep the stop probably in the 26 zone and have it move all the way to the 29. Get out before earnings. I don't like to take the risk of earnings, but this is a very nice formation. By the way, I even had bought it in the 21 zone, sold it off in the 24 zone. So I'm just waiting for it to chop and churn. Now it's done a good move outside of a resistance area, which the support, which was a resistance area. This was the resistance area for it. The 2677 was a resistance area. So I would even keep a support probably maybe at the 2617. I would want to be able to have a stop loss there, but I expect this to go to the 29. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Please share on Twitter. Please like and comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. If there's a stock that you want me to analyze using our 5-step process, let me know. Thank you.